So we're going to get on with our first session right now. That is focused on the future of travel and the opportunity for Africa. And each year, what we do in this slot, the first day of the first session of the last day, is we want to do something really out of the box. We've worked with Embraer and what it used to be called Uber X and is now Eve. For flying taxis. That was back in 2018. We've had Dronamics, which is now a funded drone delivery. They presented in Cape Town in 2019. Last year we had Zero, the SAF e-fuel company, present in Namibia as well, with Kwame Bekoe, who's just set up a SAF company, AfriSAF as well. And what we're going to do this time is I'm going to hand the floor to Adonis, they're really leading the charge, SITA, in terms of what's happening in the future for Africa. So Adonis, join me on the stage, and all for you. So big round of applause.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Yeah, good morning, everyone. So thanks, John, for the introduction. Thanks for the opportunity. Yesterday, we heard a lot from the airlines about their challenges, about the pain points, and all of that. Today, I thought I start my presentation with what the passengers think, what we think as travelers, and how do we see the future of travel could be. So the number of passengers is not going to go less. So I think we all know in the room that building concrete, putting concrete, building more terminals is not gonna cut it. So we need to do things differently. And if we listen to our passengers, what they're saying about what they want, how they want to travel in the future, we see that 7 out of 10, which is enormous given the data privacy, given the data security and all of that, 7 out of 10 are saying that they would love to use their face if that would help them to make their travel easier through the airport and outside the airport. And it's good because the airlines are listening. So we have already 75% of airlines worldwide listening to that, and they are investing in some sort or form in biometrics for the future. And what's really interesting, and it relates so much to Zanzibar being on the island, is the intermodal travel and how passengers are looking more now into really trying to book one ticket throughout their journey of the flight, whether they are taking a ferry, whether they are taking the train, whether in the future they are taking a drone. We never know. So already 65% of them are expecting to book one ticket, to have one journey, to manage their baggage using only, from their point of view, it's a one journey. So the question is, I think, to all of you is, are we all ready for this? I think it's something to really reflect on, and I wish we have the time to have an open discussion, but we don't. So the question is, let's try to imagine how that journey would look like. This is a journey that would look like, from a passenger point of view, that they can travel, we like to call it, from anywhere to everywhere. Because today, the journey is not just about reaching the airport and boarding the aircraft. It's about reaching the final destination. It's about getting to a final event, or maybe as simple as going to the beach. And they want to do all of this in a really seamless, frictionless way as much as possible. No queues, nothing. So if we think about this and we imagine this, we think that it's not doable. But as a matter of fact, technology is here today to tell us that it is doable. And technology today is giving us the vehicle to do all of that in a we thought would be an unimaginable way, but today, as a matter of fact, it is doable. And we're going to see a little bit later a video showing us how this can be done today in so many ways. How to do that? Of course, today, probably some of you already know, we have the ICAO digital travel credentials, which is presented to the industry to play with. And if we play it right, this can really provide a transforming journey for passengers, for airlines, even for stakeholders outside the air transport industry as well. Airlines are going mobile on all levels so far. So as far as the passengers are concerned, they want everything on. Our life is on the mobile. So they want more a mobile-driven process. They want data stored in their own mobiles. They don't want someone else to play with their data, keep their data, not knowing what happens with their biometrics, for example. So all of this, and the technology by itself, with the artificial intelligence today taking the boundaries really very high and enabling us to have a very accurate, very precise results in order to adopt such a service in the airports and outside the airports. I'm going to let you go through this video, and I'll explain a few things about the video a little bit later. I hope that you noticed that throughout the video, it's not just about one leg of the journey. We're traveling from one country to another country. We're using the same biometric and the same enrollment even at the arriving destination, which is Aruba in this case. And then they even use the same biometric and the same credential to actually use the tour operator to reach the final destination, which is just going to a resort to relax and have fun. This is why it's relating so much to Zanzibar, the video. And this is the message here. This is available today. This is doable. This is live. This is happening today. So technology is there. And we all know that it's not just about technology to make this happen. There's a lot of other stakeholders that need to be engaged. Discussions need to happen, and they need to happen, I think, very fast, because these things can get complicated, or we can make them as easy as we want. What other things travelers are asking about? And by the way, all the reports that I'm extracting this data from are available on the podcasts of John, so you can search the podcasts of SITA. You will find the link to all these reports, and you can download them. So the other things that passengers are talking about is, if we look at the top one, is passengers want to really drop their bags and get rid of their bags as early in their journey as possible. And I was just standing outside this morning today, some people arriving with their bags. So imagine that they could easily arrive to their bags, check in at the next to the coffee station, and just spend the day at the beach when the conference is finished, if they have a flight later on, and so on and so forth, and go to the airport straight to the gate. Again, this is not fiction. This is very easy to be done. How to make this happen is, again, technology here comes to the rescue, because technology is very important because it's the enabler. Technology is not the solution by itself, but technology enables this kind of things. And we notice that airlines are moving more and more into a mobile process. Airlines don't like so much, and you in the room, tell me if I'm wrong, you don't want to rely anymore on platforms in airports, on certifications and all of that. You need to be freed from all of this. You want your mobile process to be driven completely by you or by the passengers themselves. Today, the technology enables this. So the technology today can be as easy as putting the whole airport in a box, and take that box and put it anywhere you want. So think about the possibilities. So you can basically check in from anywhere, absolutely anywhere, as long as you have your own airline app and the passengers know what to do, and that's it. And this opens up the possibilities of so many things, because now if you think about off-airport and people dropping baggage wherever they want, we worked with a partner called Dupes in Dubai. If we merge the technology with the process and how to manage the process correctly and the operations and the security aspect, you have a full end-to-end solution for that. And if they can make it happen in the UAE, I think it can happen anywhere. And on an island like Zanzibar, this could be a game changer. You can check in from anywhere in the morning, get rid of your bags, spend the whole day at the resort and just enjoy the day without worrying about arriving to the airport, queues, and all of this. So this is really just one example of a use case of what happens when you move that airport into a box. You put that box anywhere, and you unleash your mobile application basically to do anything you want. Speaking about baggage, it's interesting because yesterday we officially released the famous SITA baggage report. And I'm not going to go through all the data. You'll find the links with John later on. And the numbers are amazing, actually. Maybe you deserve a round of applause, I think, everybody in this room, because what happened is, if we compare the numbers from 2007 until now, so this report takes the data up until the end of 2024. So if we take the numbers from 2007 to end of 2024, so the volume of passengers more than doubled, actually, during that period. But if we look at mishandled baggage rates, they dropped by almost 70%. This is amazing, and especially if you think about what happened in the year after the pandemic, where there was a huge lack of resources, and during that phase, it was really chaos. But somehow, I think, we all picked up our game and managed to do an amazing job. This is a view on the numbers. I'm not going to go through them a lot, but it really shows you that we dropped from almost 20 bags per 1,000 missing down to 6. That's almost a third of that number. So this comes with a lot of innovation. This comes with a lot of hard work and implementing processes. And why 2007? Just very quickly, because 2007 is the year where we started actually to implement processes. IATA started releasing a lot of recommended practice around baggage specifically, and this is where technology started to really invest more and more into tracking baggage, tracing baggage, and reflighting baggage. And the adoption of that technology worldwide, of course, adapting the process to it led to these amazing numbers. Now, we speak a lot about passenger, we speak a lot about baggage, but at the end of the day, we need to operate in a sustainable manner. We cannot just forget about simply sustainability. And when I say sustainability, of course, and this session is all about technology, what are airlines today using mainly to help them have a more sustainable flights, to make sure that? So we asked the airlines these questions, and the majority of these airlines came back with a clear answer that it's mainly around flight optimization tools. And then I'm going to invite Julius to the stand just to tell you a little bit more about this and what does that mean to your daily operations.
Can you hear me, guys? Yeah. So thanks, Adonis, on this. So the last couple of days, we have discussed opening new routes and new destinations, but how we make these routes efficient, safe, and sustainable. So with these 4 pillars and 4 measures, so reaching fly net zero by 2050 is so critical for airline to start adopting these measures. So we have the new technologies. So this required a lot of investment into new aircraft, new engine models, which could reduce like good amount of fuel savings. We have the SAF fuel, and we all know about SAF fuel in Africa and how it's scarce and all the struggle and difficulties in that. And also we have the offsetting of carbon capture and how we do the carbon, trading and offsetting for the CO2 emissions. And finally, we have the operational efficiencies. And this is where really airlines have to take action on this. Because with the flight optimization and actually in-flight optimization, this is where real business is doing with the kind of doing some initiative on the fuel saving on the full flight phases. So what we have done, we have created and we have invested into AI, into a full flight services from climb phase. For example, on the climb phase, we could reach around 70 kg of fuel saving per flight per one climb. And on top of that, we could have like direct lateral cruise, okay, which you could do shortcuts like Google Map, right? So if you want to go that destination, you could save this amount of fuel. And also on Opti level, which you can do flight optimization on 11 side. And we are working now currently on the descent, so we could, manage all of this in the fuel saving and really good fuel saving amount. And then what we have done, we have built it with the weather, because weather in Africa is so difficult, and we have created this weather awareness. And we integrate as well with EFP. So we bring all this AI into the cockpit, and this is where really fuel efficiency will comes in, and this is where the real airline, like in Africa, has to take action. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jadis. And we spoke about innovation, and the beauty about innovation is that we cannot innovate alone. We never innovate alone. We innovate with others. I'm going to be joined by Yamna. So if you can please give her a round of applause. So Yamna's going to tell us about how we can innovate together for the aviation using the latest technologies. Yamna?
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. So I think, like Adonis mentioned, for us, innovation isn't just about emerging technologies, just doing it on our own. We call it more of co-innovation, which is really working with our customers and addressing their challenges. Over the last 2 days, we have talked a lot about regional growth, connectivity, and how to really grow the aviation market in Africa. So for us, what we've done is to be able to make sure that this growth is really working, and to make sure that we can basically stop any roadblocks that you may have. We work with our customers very closely. So we have a 3-step process for innovation that we call for Africa First. We start with addressing regional or customer challenges. So we work with our partners to really see what are the challenges that are either in Africa, East Africa, or with a particular customer. And then we see, okay, how can we help address that? We have our own innovation lab in SITA that we can work with. We work with startups. We work with enhancing our solutions. And then we work with customers on co-designing with all of that. So for today, what we have with us is one such example. We've heard from Air Tanzania yesterday, from a lot of airports, that one issue is aircraft turnaround. Especially, we know we are not going to increase infrastructure, right? So we have to make sure that if we want more flights at our airports, we have to make sure that we optimize aircraft turnaround. So that is definitely something that we are working with. We have actually partnered with a startup, an African startup, iPerve, that helps us address these challenges in a way that we look at technology, processes, and people. For us right now, the next thing is we're looking for partners, airports, airlines, as well as ground handlers, the whole ecosystem on how we can work together with you to make sure this is addressed in the best way possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all. That's it for us. I'm just going to close by a statement that John likes a lot, which is I always try to say we cannot have a big bang approach, especially with technologies like biometrics and a full journey with biometrics outside the country and extending. I think for me, what is essential is to start small, think big, and scale fast. And this is, I think, how we get there. And if I link this to the MD of the airport authority in his opening speech, he said, if you're not the faster, then you're the loser. He said something like this, which resonated well with how I think about this. So it's about being fast, but at the same time, putting the right strategy with the right partner in order to get there. So please reach out to us. We're here the whole day. There's so much more to share about all of this. And we only have limited time so on the stage, but however, we can have a lot of discussion. So thank you so much for your time in the morning. Thanks.
Wow, Yeah, I'm not sure that was actually, it wasn't your quote, was it? We borrowed it from, but we love it. We love it. I think we have to give credit as well to the whole team there, but I love it. Yeah. Start small, think big, scale fast. I think that applies across so many parts of the industry and really thought-provoking. And thanks to the team for joining you on there as well. Right.